Before we dive into this remarkable story, make sure you subscribe right now so you never miss the kind of information that could change the way you look at the coins in your pocket, your drawer, or your old collection. Hit that subscribe button now if you appreciate history, value, and the hidden treasures that often hide in plain sight. Imagine for a moment a simple coin, the kind you might have handled dozens of times in your younger years, one you probably spent without a second thought. A Netherlands 25-cent coin from 1970. To most people, it's just a piece of metal, a small denomination that once bought a bit of candy, a newspaper, or perhaps helped you catch a bus in a city you don't even remember anymore. But sometimes it's the ordinary things from our past that hold the most extraordinary secrets. This coin is a reminder of a time when Europe was transforming. The 1970s were a period of rebuilding, growth, and new connections. The Netherlands, like many countries in Western Europe, was modernizing rapidly. Coins like this weren't designed to be rare or valuable. They were designed to be used, to circulate, and to be forgotten. And that very fact is what makes certain examples of this coin so fascinating and so potentially valuable today. At first glance, the Netherlands 25-cent 1970 coin may look familiar. It's modest in size, made of a common metal alloy, and bears markings that reflect Dutch heritage. The design elements capture the spirit of the nation at that time, with symbols that evoke pride, tradition, and continuity. But this coin is more than just a reminder of a bygone era. It's a piece of history, and history has a way of becoming valuable when time shines its spotlight on survival and rarity. If you grew up handling these coins, you know they were everywhere. They jingled in pocket change, were stacked in jars, and were exchanged countless times. Most of them were worn smooth through everyday use. That's why finding one in exceptional condition today is rare. The collectors who study this coin don't just look at the date. They look at condition, surface, strike quality, and whether it has avoided the nicks, scratches, and corrosion that time usually grants to items in regular circulation. In the world of coin collecting, condition is king. A coin in worn, heavily circulated condition is interesting, but a coin that looks as if it was barely used, that still holds its original luster, that shows crisp details and sharp edges. Those are the coins that draw attention. Many collectors refer to this as mint state, meaning it looks much like it did when it left the mint decades ago. For a coin that wasn't intended to be saved, finding one in mint state is like discovering a time capsule. Men in their late 50s, 60s, and up have a unique advantage when it comes to coins like this. You lived through the era when these coins were new. You might have saved a few over the years without realizing their potential. Maybe you put coins away in a box, a drawer, or an old wallet and forgot about them. This is exactly where rare coins are often found, deep in personal collections, unseen for decades. Collectors also pay close attention to variations. Sometimes a small difference in the way a coin was struck, a slight deviation in the metal composition, or a rare minting error can make one coin far more valuable than another that looks identical at first glance. Over the years, experts have identified specific varieties of the Netherlands 25-cent 1970 coin that are especially sought after. These varieties may have occurred due to subtle changes at the mint or inconsistencies during production that were never noticed at the time. What most people don't realize is that coins like this were never meant to be rare. That's what makes them so intriguing to collectors. Because they were everyday currency, most were spent, lost, or discarded. The ones that survived in excellent condition did so by accident, not intention. And that accidental survival creates scarcity. Collectors know that scarcity combined with demand equals value. Another factor that draws people to coins from this era is nostalgia. For many of you, this coin represents a chapter of life that might have been filled with family, work, travel, and memories you cherish. When you see a coin like this, it's not just about metal and markings. It's about connection to the past. It's a physical piece of a time that you lived through. And collectors around the world understand that emotional thread. They are willing to pay a premium for pieces that resonate with history and personal experience. Now let's talk about how collectors evaluate something like this. They look at the surface. Are there scratches, dings, signs of cleaning? A coin that has been cleaned aggressively, even if it looks shiny, can actually be less valuable because cleaning can damage the surface. The patina, the natural toning that occurs over time, is something that collectors often prize because it tells a story about the coin's journey through time. Weight and strike quality also matter. Slight deviations in weight can indicate a rare variant. A strong strike, where the design details are sharp and clear, is another sign of quality. When you combine a strong strike, excellent surface preservation, original patina, and rare variety, you start entering the realm of coins that serious collectors are willing to fight over. It's also important to recognize that the coin collecting community has grown tremendously. With online auctions, international collectors, and dedicated numismatic societies, awareness of rare coins has spread worldwide. What was once a local curiosity can suddenly become a global treasure. Coins that were overlooked for years are now being rediscovered, documented, and offered to passionate collectors who understand their true worth. For those of you watching this who might have one of these coins tucked away, here's what you should do. First, do not clean the coin. Leave it exactly as it is. Second, handle it carefully by the edges to avoid fingerprints or oils from your skin. Third, consider having it evaluated by a professional numismatist, someone who can grade the coin's condition and identify any rare characteristics it might have. Many people underestimate what they have because they assume that common coins are worthless. But value in the coin world isn't determined by how many were made. It's determined by how many have survived in exceptional condition and how much collectors want them today. And collectors are always looking for pieces that fill gaps in their collections or represent a rare find. What makes the story of the Netherlands 25-cent 1970 coin especially exciting is that this particular issue has quietly attracted attention among serious collectors. Not everyone is talking about it yet. Not every auction headline is shouting about it. But the coins that meet the highest standards of preservation are becoming increasingly sought after. There's a saying among collectors: value sleeps until someone wakes it. In other words, a coin may sit unnoticed for years until someone who knows its worth brings it into the light. And when that happens, demand can rise quickly. Buyers begin to recognize that these coins are not just nostalgic reminders of the past. They are rare survivors of a time capsule that few others preserved. Across Europe, North America, and Asia, collectors are becoming more interested in mid-20th century coins with historical context. The Netherlands 25-cent from 1970 fits into that category. It represents a moment in time when coins were still crafted with care, when they circulated widely, and when few people thought about saving them for the future. Younger collectors may not remember these coins from everyday use. But older collectors, especially those who grew up with them in their pockets, have a deeper appreciation. That appreciation translates into demand. And in the world of numismatics, demand is what drives value. This coin reminds us that history often lives in the objects we overlook. A small piece of metal can carry decades of stories, journeys, and memories. It can connect us to a time we once lived through, to moments we may have long forgotten, and to the world as it was. And now, the part many of you have been waiting for. Based on verified sales and collector interest, exceptionally preserved examples of the Netherlands 25-cent coin for 1970, especially those with rare minting characteristics and flawless condition, have been valued in some cases at up to $850,000. So before you clear out those old coin collections, take a second look. That simple coin you've carried or forgotten might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. And if you found this information valuable, make sure you are subscribed so you never miss the next hidden gem.